Hey everybody, it's Jennifer, and today we're getting ready to head to Malmesbury. I got some cool things to show you. It's meant to be kind of a rainy, yucky day. It's sunny and nice right now, but I have a feeling that the weather's probably going to change, so hopefully we can get everything in. But let's go ahead and head to Malmesbury, England. I think that's probably the Abbey up there. I think this is one of the gates to the Abbey. The Abbey is so large and kind of encompasses the whole town that you find random entrances and bits here and there, but I think this is one of the gates. This view of the Abbey and the cemetery. We'll be back here in a bit. Check this out a bit more. Look at that shot. Guys, this abbey was founded around 675 AD. So this is an abbey that has been here for an incredible amount of time and has just an insane history to it. It had a massive spire that fell in the 15th century, but it is still pretty much intact and looks amazing. We're going to talk about some more things that are inside in just a second, but this is what brings people here. While his birth home is not still standing, my literary connection today is Thomas Hobbes, which is a pretty big one. He was born in Malmesbury along with Elmer the monk, which we'll talk about more in a minute. But this is the Westport area, and this is where the Thomas Hobbes house was, or where he was born, according to my research. So again, it's not still here, but this would have been where he was from. This is the Charlton Estate, and this is where they have WOMAD every year in Malmesbury. So that is the World of Music, Arts, and Dance, and it is a huge festival. It was co-founded by Peter Gabriel in 1982, which is amazing. I'm a huge fan. But it was promoted to, or it was founded to promote multiculturalism and to get diversity in with different genres of music and workshops and cultural events, etc. I have never been, but it is on my list of things that I'd really like to do, especially because the amount of music that comes to WOMAD is very varied, which I think was the whole point of establishing the festival. But it happens in the summer. I have heard that there's going to be putting it in different areas in the future, but in times past, it has often been held here. So we'll see what happens. But it was a really large, huge estate. So I can definitely see why this would have been a great place for it. So it's pretty cool cultural connection. Today we are having lunch at a restaurant called The Birdcage, which has the most extensive pizza menu I've seen in a minute. So when we saw it, we were pretty excited to go on a little pizza journey and see some of these interesting concoctions. It's with a chicken and leek and a 4-cheese pizza. Now we wanted to go for the 4 cheese because they were 4 cheeses that we did not know. So both were amazing, fantastic, would do again. First of all, don't forget to check out the Market Cross in the center of town. This was built in 1490 and it is unbelievably beautiful. It's got little faces hidden in all the spires. I tried to zoom in and get some images of that, but that was a really bizarre, kind of interesting thing to pick up on. There's also what looks like a modern clock and a sundial on here as well. It is kind of a huge structure in the middle of town, so you can't miss it, but there is something about it that is just really kind of breathtaking, so definitely be sure to check it out if you're here. The next really bizarre find is going to be in the cemetery of the Abbey, and this is the grave of Hannah Twanoi. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Hannah died in 1703, and the rumor is that this is the first recorded death by tiger in the UK. She worked in a pub, and a circus came to town, kind of a circus with a tiger, and she was mauled to death. The circus set up right next to the pub, and she was told not to go out there and mess with the tiger, but supposedly she did, and it resulted in her death. These are all the myths, but there are several places that record the legend of this, including plaques that you can find around. So I think the tombstone was replaced recently with the original inscription. So definitely push pause and read this poem. Okay, so we are now inside the Abbey, and there is definitely something in here that I want to show you. And I just want to give you a scan of the room and some of the things that you'll see. But there's something really, really interesting in this Abbey. And while we're coming up to it, I'll go ahead and do the spoiler alert. This is the first King of England is buried in this abbey, King Addleston. And he died in 1939 AD. And you can see his tomb here right to the left. He is the king that is known to have united the kingdoms of the UK. But this was amazing to be able to walk up to. Now, I have to tell you, there was a little surprise for me here at this tomb that I did not expect. So I am just sort of scanning and taking it in, paying my respects here. And just look, when I get to the end, I'm like, oh my gosh, he has a dog. He has a dog. And there's little Gigi in the Abbey with me. It was such a crazy, awesome, amazing moment. The happiest thing I've ever seen. Now, some other things that I found to be of note in the Abbey is just some of the really cool displays that they have around as well. I took some video of some of the things, but like, this is just really cool, this moving sculptural piece. But we need to talk about Elmer or Almer. I've seen it pronounced both ways. I think it's different in Old English versus Modern English. But let me tell you the story of the flying monk. So here in this window tapestry, you can see there was a monk named, again, Elmer or Almer, depending on how you want to pronounce it, who believed that he could fly. And so he built a pair of wings. So Elmer built his suit, built his wings, and apparently he was airborne for about 15 seconds. I'm reading this straight from Wikipedia if you want to check this out, but there's multiple places that cite the distance, etc. And it says that he would have went about 200 meters or 220 yards. He landed, and he was not successful in staying airborne longer, and he did actually break both of his legs. But he is now a hero. Everybody thinks that Almer is one of the coolest characters. I've also got some footage here of where I think some different places the landing is that he would have jumped off, because I know it was in the older part of the building, but it's not super clear which landing he took off from, or at least that I could find. But he is a legend here. Everybody thinks that Elmer the Flying Monk is just one of the coolest things. And there are actually references all over the place, including Chippenham, and I think Corsham has a Flying Monk wine trail. So he is kind of a Wiltshire hero. He didn't necessarily have a successful flight, but everybody thinks that is pretty cool that he tried. Now, I was reading online that part of the reason that he really was unsuccessful is because he did get some stuff right, but the thing that he didn't take into account is that birds, not only do they have wings, but they also have tail feathers, which he didn't have, and also they use their head to be able to move against wind streams and direct, etc. And, well, as we know, people just cannot fly like birds. But more power to Elmer for making sure that we tested that and we could put that in the books as true knowledge. So more about him in just a second, because I have definitely a don't miss that I want to throw in there also. Almer is everywhere, so make sure you've got your eyes peeled when you're around, because this is in a local coffee shop, for example. There are pictures and references and little statues and just allusions everywhere, so make sure that you've got your eyes peeled looking for Elmer at all times. Finally, my last thing of don't miss is just don't miss the history. This is such a cool little town, village. I'm not really sure which one it falls under, but it is a cool place to visit, and there is history everywhere you look. There are cool pubs, there are cool cafes, there is stonework everywhere. There's little monuments on the ground that shows the various different gates and what they mean, and quotes. So this is just a really cool place to just kind of immerse yourself in, just walk around and just feel kind of like you've stepped back in time, because that is kind of what it feels like. And also make sure that you pay attention to the architecture, because it's really beautiful. I mean, even that was just a Clark's, but like that building is fantastic. It's also a beautiful place to go for a walk. There are dogs everywhere, and it's just a really nice place to go for a stroll, so don't miss that. Well, that will do it for our trip to Malmesbury. I know it was brief and short, but it is a very cute little place. So be sure to check it out and let me know in the comments below where you would like me to explore next. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!